Forget the typical potato chips. Today, we're unveiling a seaweed-infused snack that's about to change your snacking game forever. Because the same green stuff you might encounter at the beach is making its way onto people's plates in more ways than you can imagine. So what's the process to harvesting and making it soup-worthy? And what do you get when you combine the crunch of spring rolls with the savory twist of seaweed? A flavor explosion you won't want to miss. Get ready for a mouth-watering surprise. Serving up smiles one dish at a time, Food is Thy Mood is now live. Hey there, Moody Foodies! Today we're diving deep into the culinary wonders of seaweed. So grab your snorkels or rather your aprons as we embark on the seaweed-filled journey discussing tasty dishes and foraging. Our adventure begins by uncovering the secrets of making homemade roasted seaweed. This isn't just any seaweed. We're talking about crispy, flavorful sheets that are way better than the store-bought ones. First, let's take some sesame oil, the unsung hero of our recipe, and give those nori sheets a generous brush. We're not making art here, but trust me, this is where the magic begins. Now, time for a sprinkle of our super secret spice mixture. Think of it as seaweed's favorite jacket. It'll make them look good and taste even better. But what's in this mysterious spice mix that elevates the seaweed to new heights of flavor? With the sheets all seasoned up and stacked, we roll them into little seaweed rolls. It's like making tiny green sushi burritos. Then onto the griddle at the sizzling 400 degrees as they go. Watch for those edges to turn a toasty green. It's like seaweed's way of saying, I'm ready to flip. Flip them over and in about a minute or so on each side, you've got yourself some toasty homemade seaweed sheets. They're crispy, they're crunchy, and they're a lot easier to make than you might think. But how do these simple ingredients transform into something so simple and unexpectedly delightful? Well, there's more. We're not stopping at just sheets. Turn these seaweed wonders into flavor-packed strips perfect for adding a kick to your salads. It's like seaweed's secret weapon for making your greens a lot less boring. Could you also put these in a soup? Let's find out. Let's switch gears and explore the heartwarming world of seaweed soup, a dish that has a special place in our hearts and bellies. This recipe is simple, nutritious, and a testament to the comfort that home-cooked meals bring. We're delving into the wonders of seaweed soup and why it's more than just a delicious bowl of goodness. It's a dish that's been prepared countless times by generations, making it a culinary tradition worth celebrating. The recipe calls for ingredients like seaweed, dried shrimp, lean pork, eggs, and napa cabbage. We're not just tossing things into a pot. We're orchestrating a symphony of flavors. But first, let's talk about the star of the show, the seaweed. What makes this particular type of seaweed the perfect choice for a heartwarming soup? We're not picking just any seaweed, it's the one meant for soup. Yes, seaweed has several categories. This is wakame, purchased dried to rehydrate, a subtly sweet but distinctive strong flavor and texture. Now let's dive into the details. We'll soak the seaweed and dried shrimp, chop up some napa cabbage, and slice the pork. The pork gets a little cornstarch massage to keep it tender and happy. And we're not skipping on quality here. We're talking seaweed from a reputable Asian-owned company. It's like choosing the fanciest outfit for a seaweed party. As we stir-fry the dried shrimp, the kitchen fills with the scent that'll have your neighbors knocking on the door. Next, we add chicken broth, water, napa cabbage, seaweed, pork, and eggs. It's a soup symphony in the making. How do these diverse ingredients come together to create a harmonious and flavorful experience? The grand finale involves a pinch of salt, a dash of sesame oil, a splash of fish sauce, and a sprinkle of white pepper. It's like adding the final brushstrokes to a masterpiece. And voila! Our seaweed soup is ready to steal the show. So how do we pull this green monster from the ocean and into soup bowl? This video isn't just about following a recipe. It's about embracing the cultural significance of seaweed in Asian cuisine going worldwide. Our journey into the world of seaweed wouldn't be complete without a coastal foraging expedition. Join us as we take you on a thrilling adventure, scouring the coastline for treasured seaweed. Harvesting restrictions include chopping by only knives and scissors and up to a specified distance from the root. And yes, there are some guidelines that the most experienced elders know and pass down to their students, like watching the tide and which plant to harvest. Watch as these coastal gems are transformed into a delectable kelp soup. It's a reminder that food isn't just about taste, it's about the stories and traditions that accompany it. And guess what? You can customize this dish with tofu, bok choy, and seafood. It's like giving seaweed the red carpet treatment. Then how can we bring unique flavors and textures of seaweed to classic dishes like chips? Well, we can't talk about seaweed without mentioning spring rolls, right? These delightful bites are often a favorite at gatherings and parties. And guess what? Seaweed can make them even more enticing. Imagine the crispy crunch of fresh vegetables, the succulent shrimp or tofu, and now the subtle umami of seaweed. It's like inviting the coolest guest to the party. Seaweed knows how to make an entrance. But how does seaweed elevate the traditional spring roll into a culinary experience that's both familiar and excitingly new? Roll it up in rice paper, and you've got yourself a tasty treat that's impossible to resist. But what makes the most unique and appealing combination of seaweed and rice snack to create today? Are you a fan of snacking but looking for a healthier alternative to those greasy potato chips? Look no further than seaweed rice chips. These crispy delights are not only delicious but also packed with nutrients. Imagine the delicate crunch of rice chips infused with the subtle, salty goodness of seaweed. It's like a snack time surprise that'll make your taste buds do a happy dance. Whether you're munching on them solo or dipping them into your favorite sauce, these rice chips are a snack time marvel. Next time you're at the beach and encounter that green sea monster, remember that it's not just for swimming away from. It's for savoring, enjoying, and creating unforgettable meals that celebrate the wonders of the ocean. What's your favorite way to enjoy seaweed? And do you have any unique seaweed recipes to share? We want to know, so please tell us in the comments. If food shaped in sheets that's wrapped and layered with other food interests you, then check out our video about edible gold. From homemade roasted sheets to comforting seaweed soup, crispy spring rolls, seaweed rice chips, and coastal foraging adventures, seaweed has indeed left an indelible mark on the world of culinary delights. So there you have it, our delightful exploration of all things seaweed. Thanks for joining us on this seaweed adventure. To let us know if you enjoyed exploring these delicious recipes and foraging tips, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications for more culinary explorations. Share your thoughts and experiences with seaweed in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep experimenting with flavors and happy cooking.